If you own your own business or thinking about starting one, this podcast is for you. We're going to tackle the question, is being a business owner, is that a blessing or a curse? Today, we're going to have Dan help us to answer that question. Dan Tingler, thank you for being here today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So Dan owns Kool Guyz Floors More. First of all, the name is fantastic to begin with, Kool Guyz. It plays in so many ways, like, oh, I did business with that cool guy and all those type of things. So it was very clever. How'd you come up with that name?
A customer.
A customer, really?
A customer did, yeah. So we were doing a job, and he saw the way I was interacting with all the guys, and he asked what my company name was, and I told him, and he's like, you need to change that because you guys are some really cool guys.
No way.
And then we all collaborated, all the guys, because I always like input from them.
Yeah.
And that's how Kool Guyz got started.
It's so clever. And that's fantastic from a story. But it's Kool Guyz Floors More.
Correct.
So what is the more then? What else do you guys do?
So more is a lot of times when you do flooring, you have to do carpentry work, plumbing work, electrical work. You kind of have to do and know everything. So the more is I want to help customers more. So how can I help you do more handyman things?
Okay.
The Dan-do list is what I call instead of the honey-do list. So I sit down with customers and we go over other things, carpentry work, plumbing work, electrical, painting, things like that. Okay. So we get in to help them with that.
So you're a contractor then, and you work with different employees or 1099 employees. Do you have employees?
No,
okay.
They're all 1099 subcontracted employees.
So let me ask. So you're of course passionate about your business. You started it. You have customers you want to make sure you service, and then you have these 1099 employees out there. How do you instill that passion and sense of providing quality service to those 1099 employees?
So I don't treat the 1099 employees as if they're just a subcontractor. I treat them as friends and family. So I'm on the job sites with them a lot of the time, helping them carry in flooring or helping them paint or helping them do carpentry, and I'll teach them things as well. So I'm not just the owner of the company. I'm part of the crews out there. And I feel like that companionship there, it's what really drives them to be like, this isn't just an owner sitting behind a desk. This is somebody who really cares about what I'm going through and teaching me how to be better.
Okay. So when the crews are out there, then you're kind of I don't want to say foreman because that sounds so formal,
right.
but you're there leading them to make sure they do everything.
Exactly,
okay.
and just ensuring the customer that I'm there with them. Okay. Here I am, here are my guys or girls. I do have women that work with me, and here we are as a team. It's not them or me or anything, so they feel comfortable that communication is spread between everyone, and they know that they're going to get everything done right.
Is your business broken down, commercial and residential?
I do everything, commercial, industrial, and residential.
Mainly commercial or a lot
of it's split.
Nice blend?
Mm-hmm, a real nice blend.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this?
Since I was 13, so do I have to tell how many years?
13. Just another 10 years?
That's right. I'll even take 20.
And when did the Kool Guyz when was that formed? Was that recently, or was that when you were young?
So Kool Guyz, the name itself was formed right before COVID, and that was when I met the gentleman, and that was when the world was at chaos, and he was shocked that an owner could be part of a crew, and everyone was laughing, and he saw that the guys could throw opinions out like, hey, should we try this? And I was open. I listened. Instead, it wasn't my way. It was our way.
Gotcha. Okay.
And that's how Kool Guyz. And then we, put the K and the Z because the guys were like, Dan, you have to be hip with today, So everything just collaborated together based on everyone. It wasn't just my decision. It was everyone.
Okay.
And it was a blessing. I believe that was my course to take.
So Dan, I know you said you're a sole proprietor, so you own a company. Have you given any thought to having a partner or financial investor in the company at any point?
No. I had a bad experience.
That's a hard no.
Yes. Yeah, once you get burned, you learn.
Oh, okay.
So I at a young age, I met another installer, and we, dreams of owning a business, and we went into a partnership, and young, foolish, I didn't know about the getting attorneys involved and paperwork signed. We did the LLC and everything, and I thought that was it. It didn't have to be split, all that. And I was the one running for all the work, the sales, ordering. I was doing everything. And he was at the gym working out or at the restaurant eating or things like that. So I lost a lot, and I learned a lot from knowing that it's up to me to make the right decisions. I don't want somebody to influence and take advantage of my skill set.
And I think that's a great story. And thanks for sharing it, because those people who are, thinking about going to business and feel they need a partnership because they're buddies or great friends with someone,
Sure.
It takes a lot more than that to get it there.
And I would tell anyone thinking about that, if you go in with your buddy or somebody, just know that it might not work out, and make sure that you draw those lines. Just be prepared that your decisions are another person's decisions. It's not only you; it's together.
So if you're, since you act as kind of the, you work with contractors and you just make sure you lead the team.
Correct.
Do you have any sort of headquarters or retail space, or for customers looking at flooring, do they go to a retail store you work with and then you're there to advise them?
Sure. So I do have a showroom that I use. So there are showrooms with my suppliers that I use. Myself, I run my business out of my home. So I am able to do that and use these other showrooms to provide my customers with a lower cost. I don't have the overhead that I have to worry about, raising my prices. And some people think it's unfair, but I just feel it. If I can do it, then why shouldn't I pass the savings on and do it to my customers?
Okay. So you're 13 years old and someone says, help me with my floor, and you decided you needed money for ice cream?
So, no.
How did that work?
I was 13 years old, and I was a chubby little 13-year-old kid, and my brother-in-law and his whole family were flooring installers, carpet installers specifically. And he was like, hey, Dan, you're getting fat. Come to work with me. He was paying me $250 after school and on weekends to go help him a week. Oh. And I was seeing what he was making, and it wasn't. The money was what was exciting at first because, 13, 14, 15, you're making some good money. You become the most popular kid. I got to meet new people every day. I got to see a different life outside of my own, how people were living, how people talked, how people did things, and being welcomed into someone's home, and the craftsmanship that you go into something looking horrible and you walk out like it's a whole new place when you're doing things. Okay. And to me, that was a satisfaction. Like, I met something, I learned something, and I was able to create something that they're going to remember me by, the whole picture. So
fast forward 4 years later, because you're only 17 now.
Correct.
And then you decide to more formalize it into a business. What drove you to make that leap of faith to say, this is going to be my full-time career?
So I kind of fought with the idea of going to college, and I went for 1 year, and I'm sitting there, and I'm still doing flooring, and I was hiring graduates, and I'm like, is this really, I'm hiring these people who have this degree. Is this really meant for me? Am I an office guy, or would I be happy doing what I enjoy doing? I do have some freedom. I'm meeting people and I'm out. So I started venturing more to thinking, what is my path? Who am I? Where am I going to go? And it led me to getting my own van, getting my own tools, leaving my brother-in-law and his family, and taking the leap of faith. And it was a rough road. But.
Sure, and we're going to dive into that. But what a great story, because there are so many people who are going to watch or listen that are thinking about, do I do the same thing? Maybe they're just really good at whatever trade they're in, and they don't like working that trade, or maybe they're even better than the tradesmen that they work with, and they want to turn it into a business. So taking that leap of faith is something that is hard to do, but it sounds to me like it may have been worth it. So let me ask the question. Dan, has owning your own business, has it been a blessing or curse?
A blessing.
A blessing?
It's been a blessing.
And why?
Because I'm able to influence other lives. I'm able to, if a customer's having a bad day, I'm able to maybe share a smile, share a nice word to them, because they're just not customers. Because if I'm in your home, I feel like I'm a friend, I'm an acquaintance, I'm somebody, I'm here, and I want to treat you with that respect. And just real quick story, I just had a customer who, her mom had passed away, and her daughter was buying the house, and she wanted to make it perfect for her daughter. And watching her furniture of her family leave on a truck, she broke down and cried. And it was me who followed her and just like comforted her. Like, I lost my mom. I understand what that's like. Yeah. And, you know, what can we do to help you? And you know what? She gave me a hug, and she's like, thanks for being here today. I don't know if I would have made it without you. That's a blessing. That God put me in that situation to comfort her through those hard times. Mm-hmm. So it's all a blessing. Sure, you're going to have, wow, why am I doing this? But those are the rewards that make you know that you're doing the right thing.
And you know, Dan, what's interesting about that is a blessing to you, but imagine the blessing to the person.
Oh, exactly.
To both of them. I mean, to have someone compassionate like that, who happens to be there in a time of need. Because, you know, whenever we deal with anything, I can give you my own example. I do all the estimating for my company. So I'm in a lot of residential homes a year. And, you know, sometimes people they're downsizing. Maybe someone did pass away or whatever, and it's a tough situation. So it really does take that person who genuinely understands how to interact with them, how to have a discussion, but more or less be very compassionate about what they're going through. Exactly. It's not about what your business is. It's about making sure you provide a good solution for them. So, exactly. I mean, that's good. But it's not all bliss.
No, no, it is. All right.
Not. So when do you say, or what makes you say, boy, I really am not sure I should have done this?
I say that a lot.
Okay. Like the podcast,
right? No. It's watching, you know, sometimes it's watching people that you bring on, and you see such massive skill and talent and things inside them, employees, you know, subcontractors, whatever you'd like to call them. And it's seeing the talent, but it's knowing that the hurt and the past that they had taken to lead them there. And then they venture back and they're dwindling down. And it's like, God, you know, you just want to grab them and help them and take them, but that's their life, that's their path. And then, you know, like struggling to find workers nowadays, it's a challenge, you know. And sure, you can pick up anyone, but are they really going to provide the service that you want and you want to guarantee to your customers, you know? So it's hard to meet those obstacles, and it's, you know, like, I don't know a lot of people, but for myself, sometimes I struggle with like, God, am I doing the right thing? Is this the path I'm supposed to be? Or should I, you know, sell or get rid of the business and go to work for somebody else and just be a 9-to-5 or whatever it is? Mm-hmm. But I always I do pray and I do follow that no, I've been doing this a long time, and I have influenced a lot of people and directed a lot of people in the right way. So it's the right thing, you know, and I just reinforce myself like, Dan, this is who you are. Follow it. Don't let the negativity run you down.
Yeah, I bet, and that's great advice. It really is, and I bet that your customers help bring you back there too. Because
without
I know there's times when I'm just like, oh, why am I doing this?
Exactly.
Then I have that customer where everything goes really well. They're very happy with everything, very appreciative, and then you know you did something for them that actually brings meaning to them, and just, oh, there's the answer. That's why I'm doing it.
Exactly.
Same with you. You know, that's exactly why I'm doing it, because you have stories that talks about that. Now, when you are struggling with somebody or something, do you have any support mechanism? Do you have people that you talk to or networking group? Who do you turn to when you're really struggling with decisions?
First and foremost, I turn to God. I tell young entrepreneurs, find a Zen place, find something that you can clear your mind. I'm not sure what it is for you, but you have to find that. And for me, it's sometimes walking out back with a cup of coffee and watching the tree sway and just listening to what would I do? What would God want me to do? Yeah. And then I start to find focus. I do have some great friends and family. I have a wonderful wife, you know, and I have some great friends that guide me. And I tried to find what I want because I don't allow outside influence to dictate who Dan is.
Okay. All right. And we, so I always like to mention how I met people.
Sure.
Because I truly believe in networking. I say it all the time. People are sick and tired of hearing it, but it really works. So you and I met at a BBB, Better Business Bureau event.
Correct.
For the first time. And I actually had seen you in another video, actually a short video talking about putting in flooring, et cetera. And that's how we kind of got together. And now I understand that you were just recently elected on the board for the Better Business Bureau. So congratulations.
Well, thank you.
I'm the outgoing chairman, so I'm not going to be able to work with you this year. Right. But maybe I'll be invited back next year. We'll go from there.
I'm sure.
But it's truly an honor, and I'm glad to hear. And it's a true testament to that quality of work that you're talking about, because you don't get to that position unless you're offering good service, et cetera. So congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So how else do you go about marketing the business? Where do you find your customers?
Word of mouth.
Word of mouth. Okay.
I've never done any advertising. Word of mouth has 30 plus years.
Okay.
Word of mouth has always got me there. People have seen whether I was doing something for somebody else or they've seen my workmanship. They've met me. They shook my hands. They've looked me in the eyes, and they're like, I have this. Can you come over and look at this? You need to call Dan. You need to call the Kool Guy. It's all been word of mouth. The BBB is actually the first place or anything I've ever put money and time into. Okay. But it's all word of mouth.
Okay. And that word of mouth, so you don't do any social media or anything like that?
I'm learning.
At this point, you're learning it?
I'm not very technically, I'm learning it. And that's the great thing about the BBB. They're right there helping me learn that. And they've set me up with the Facebook page, Google reviews. So this is all new territory for me. I still have not even put a post out yet, but I will. Right. I'm working on it.
All right. Well, we're going to put some posts out, and you can go ahead and work with that. So you're starting to grow your business, and you said there's times when you struggle as to whether or not it's the right decision.
Sure.
Where do you now see your business in, call it 3 to 5 years, and how do you get there?
So just staying focused on my dream, where I want to go, who I want to lead. And 5 years from now, I would like to possibly sell my business, only to those that have followed me through here, and I've spoken to some of the guys, and I'm working with them on that direction. I am currently mentoring two young men who want to start a flooring industry, and I'm mentoring them, letting them know the pros and cons and really the direction, and talk to them like, in 5 years, I would like to sell it to somebody that has the same characteristics and the same drive and the same want as I do. And if that happens, great. If not, then I continue moving forward until I find that. I just don't want to sell to anyone.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I think that's great advice for anyone listening as well. And actually, anyone listening or watching may contact you about buying your company. I'll just give you a word. People are out there watching something. They're like, oh, there's one right there. Let's go get it. But to have the continuity of someone you've trained or worked with and really understand what you're trying to accomplish, it just, first of all, it gives them, the person who buys it, it gives them kind of a leg up. Right. And a springboard to success versus just someone coming in who doesn't understand it. You don't know much about them. Exactly. They may have to work a little bit harder because you're establishing relationships with customers.
Exactly.
And the customers trust you. And when you're not there, they wonder whether or not, I think they could be more critical of new people. So I think that's great advice. So if you are, what do you do when you're not working? I mean, what you talked about going and back and finding your zen and things like that. What do you do?
I really put a lot into my business. I spend time with my wife and families, and to meet with my friends, I'm on a pinball league. It's just something we get together on Thursday nights. I shut my phone off, and for 2 to 3 hours, I'm with my friends, my best friends, and we just play some pinball, and laugh and forget about everything for just a short period of time.
Okay.
But I'm always working in my mind or on paper at the desk or just trying to, how can I be better? How can I improve this guy or this girl? What can I do? So it's real important to me.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part of owning a business.
That is.
Anyone will tell you.
Yes.
And it's the truth that if you're if you own a business and you're not thinking about it all the time,
That's
at
it.
some point, maybe you can kind of relax a little
Sure.
bit. But it's in the back of your mind, certain things, then you're probably not as dedicated to the business as you should be.
And that's what I tell these young
Yeah,
men and women.
exactly.
You have to not think that it's a 9-to-5 job to own a business. It's not. It's if you found a way to do it, please share. But it's an ongoing thing.
So let me ask that question then. So you've got a 15-year-old working with you.
Sure.
And that 15-year-old is, and you've talked to them about, getting involved, working hard, being smart. What advice do you give them in terms of whether or not they wanted to open up a business or even take over your business to improve their success? So
a 15-year-old, first.
Or anyone, yeah.
Okay. I was like, first I'd have to talk to their parents. But, I would just ask them, what is your why? Why do you want to do that? And that's real important to me. Why do you want to own your own business? What is your why? What do you want to be in 10, 15, 20 years? What do you want to stand for? If it's for the money, chances are I probably won't mentor them because you could go get money anywhere. Owning a business to me is a responsibility to take care of customers in the right way. Have a why. Take care of your family. Take care of people around you. Make a difference in today's world.
Okay. I've got to ask you this because we all went through it. Pandemic. I know for my company, we were considered essential workers, but no one wanted anyone in a home. There were no homes selling at the time, et cetera. And we had to navigate the waters, which were really treacherous waters at the time to kind of get through that. How did you get through the pandemic?
Actually, it skyrocketed my business.
It did, really?
It did.
Okay.
Because I was the one willing to go. A lot of people were working from home, sitting, well, I could use some new carpet. I could use some new paint. If I'm going to work here, I'd like to upgrade all this. I was extremely busy. I didn't have any time off during the COVID pandemic.
Oh, okay. Wow. That makes sense, actually, because people are working out of their homes now, and now they want to make sure they invest in their homes and have a good workspace, et cetera.
And, I had to have conversations with everyone, like, are you willing to go with the chance that you could get COVID? Are you willing? Because I don't want to jeopardize any of the people that work with me, their lives. So it was their decision. So I was more active on those jobs because I gave that opportunity to stay home or not. Okay.
So Dan, tell the viewers and listeners how they get a hold of you if they want to do business with you.
You can email me at dan@koolguyzllc.com. You can reach out on my phone, 216-904-1448. I'm on Google Review, which I said, and on Facebook right now. I'm learning how to get into those other avenues of network marketing. Slow process.
Okay. All right, good. Well, Dan, you really are a cool guy.
Oh,
I enjoyed talking to you. Hopefully you don't mind if I become the cool mover guy.
No, not at all.
No, you won't be. But I really do appreciate you coming on and talking with us. And I think that people are going to really enjoy this conversation. And I certainly wish you continued success and best of luck. And
thanks so
I'm
much.
sure you and I are going to probably connect outside of here.
Exactly.
In business. So
yes.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Right. Hey, if you like this episode, don't forget to comment, like, and share.
This podcast was made possible with the support of our sponsors. Find more ways to grow at CuyEast.org.